everybody, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About. This is me, Amin.
And this is Alex.
And today we're gonna answer a question. The Galaxy Note 20, should you get it or not? And if you are getting it, which version is the one that you should get? Like, which version is the most value for money, or which one is like really good in terms of value for money lah? Okay, already said that. So how we're gonna do it, we're gonna break it down specs by specs. We have the Note 20 Ultra, the Note 20, and we're gonna compare it with the previous generation, the predecessor of the Note 20, the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. Now the question a lot of people have in their mind when a new phone is launched is that, okay, should I upgrade? Is there enough of a improvement that you should upgrade to a new phone? And in our previous episode, I made a note on the fact that most of the Notes that's been launched so far are significant or are upgrade worthy even though you have the previous generation. And we also talked about in our previous episode, like why this Note is different from, why the Note 20 is different from the previous Notes, in that it is somewhat rather underwhelming, at least in terms of the specs. Okay, so let's break it down to what we have with the Note 20 Ultra. That is the top of the line Note range that's available in Malaysia. And this is what you're gonna get. So we have, in terms of processor, the not Snapdragon, the Exynos 990. So I'm gonna ask Alex what he thinks about all the specs, and we're gonna compare it with the previous generation Note, and whether it's worth it to upgrade or not. Okay. So Alex, the processor, Exynos 990. It's a 5G processor. It's Samsung's latest processor.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about it?
If you're going to compare it with the Note 10 Plus, the predecessor, yeah, it is an upgrade. It's a newer processor. Obviously, you get more power and better power efficiency. But at the same time, like we said in the previous episode, it's not a huge gap. Reason being is because when you compare it to the S20, this is the same processor. But in the US, where you get the Snapdragon variant, the S20 came with the 865 processor, but the newer Note 20 comes with a Snapdragon 865 Plus, which is actually a much better performance. So in terms of gap, well, the performance gap is quite huge compared to the US market. But if you're coming from the Note 10, if you want the extra performance, yeah, it is an upgrade.
You're saying the 865 Plus is a huge step from the 865, or is it a huge step from the 990?
990. So according to Antutu previously, I think the performance gap is about 6% or 9% from the 865 to the Exynos 990, and now that gap is widened with the new 865 Plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the 865 was already way better than the 990.
Correct.
And now it's much better because of the Plus variant.
Yes.
Unfortunately, so if you're not in the know, Samsung has two variants of their flagship devices. Well, two different. They run on two different processors. Some markets get the Snapdragon version, and some markets get the Exynos version. And if you're not aware, a lot of people are more keen to get the Snapdragon version as opposed to the Exynos version. A lot of people complain that the Exynos is not as good in terms of performance, and the other thing is the Exynos processors are really not good at power management, so they prefer the Snapdragon processors. Unfortunately, in Malaysia, we're not going to get that. So if you are upgrading from the Note 10 and 10 Plus and you need that performance, you're saying that it's something...
It's still an upgrade.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not as significant as before. Going back to the Note 10, in fact, the Note 10 versus the S10, it was a spec upgrade.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, the S10 was running on the Exynos 9820 processor, and on the Note 10, you get the 9825. It's a minor update, but at least it is an upgrade compared to now, which is we're basically using the same processor as the S20.
Yeah, and we mentioned this in the previous episode as well. The Note 20 Ultra, which is the highest variant of the Note 20 range, is kind of like a mixed bag. So some of the things they carry forward from the S20 20 line, which is fine. I mean, Samsung does that sometimes. But a number of things are kind of like a non-upgrade or really not much of an improvement. Okay, we're talking about the processor, so the verdict is if you're looking at upgrading from your Note 10, you need the performance, maybe yes, the processor is something that you can consider. But if you're already happy with your Note 10, we're saying maybe you need to hold on. Okay, so we're looking at the processor. Now we have the RAM and memory. So on the Note 20 Ultra, you have 12 gigs of RAM, which is the DDR4.
DDR5.
The DDR5, which is the fastest one.
And UFS 3.1 storage, which is also the fastest in the
So you
business
get
as well.
you get the best RAM and the best, the latest RAM and the latest storage.
Yep.
And it's available in only 256 gigs for storage. But the the benefit is, and not a lot of flagship phones have this anymore. All of the Note lines have micro SD card expandable slot.
Only for the Ultra. Only for the Ultra. Though.
Okay, thanks for correcting me on that. Only the Ultra, which is, oh my god, so frustrating, has micro SD card expansion slot.
Yep.
And you can expand your storage all the way to 1 terabyte.
Yeah, it depends on what's available. I think you can go up to 1 terabyte. But like you mentioned, right, it's only available only in a higher spec. Like normally you get a cheaper version, you should have that flexibility as well, but they don't offer it there.
It's kind of like the other way around, right? Because if I'm going for the flagship, I should get everything. If I'm paying 5,199 ringgit, I should get 512 storage.
Yes,
and not worry about upgrading.
Correct. Speaking of storage though, if you look at the Note 10 and even the Note 9, previously they offered 512 gigs of storage, just half a terabyte. Because if you're a power user, you need more storage. And it's said that Samsung Malaysia is not offering that option for the Note 20 Ultra.
And it's not to say that these variants are not available. In other markets, the Note 20 is offered in again, like I said, Snapdragon and larger storage options. So it's not like it's not possible. It's just weird that Samsung Malaysia is segmenting the devices in the Note 20 range in this way. Okay, so in terms of RAM and memory, you're saying that the Note 10 and 10 Plus has better memory, more memory,
more options, yes.
And then
more
in
storage.
terms of RAM, is it the same?
Similar as well. If let me just check through, the Note 10 previously had similar as well, also 12 gigs of RAM for the Plus model.
Yeah, so it's really not much in terms of an upgrade. Again, we're looking at the processor, but the processor, I wouldn't say it's a significant, appreciable update that you can feel. It's more of like an update rather than an upgrade.
And even things that you can feel, right, like the new enhancements, I'm pretty sure that all the new features that the Note 20 has will be carried over to the Note 10 through a software update.
Yeah, to a software update, like the S Pen features and all the soft things.
Yes.
You'll be, if you're using an older Note that's capable of running Android 10 or whatever, you'll be able to get those updates. Okay, things that are so the processor, memory, and RAM are things that you don't see, that's internal. But when you do go and look at the Note 20 at a store, the things that you will appreciate first is, of course, the display.
Yep.
And I think when it comes to the Note 20 Ultra versus the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus, the display is a significant upgrade. But I have to put out a caveat here. A 120 Hz display is not something I look forward. It's not something I look for when I'm buying a device. It's not really a big deal for me. They have a high refresh rate. And I noticed that some viewers say that, how can you do a technology website and run a technology YouTube show and not experience a 120 Hz? The thing is, I've experienced fast refresh rate phones. I mean, I've tested it, but I don't significantly feel that it's something I'm gonna need or miss. I don't know. So do you think having a 120 Hz, if everything is the same, right?
Yep.
If the Note 10 display and the Note 20 display is the same, except for the refresh rate, is it a big deal for you?
Well, of course, you need to see the overall package. But to answer your question on the display specifically, yes, a high refresh rate is definitely appreciated because you can feel it when you scroll, and especially when you're gaming, if you enable a higher refresh, higher FPS mode, you will definitely see the difference. So that makes, to me, that's important. And if you look at any flagship that's launched this year, you can see that most of them are rocking at least a 90 Hz display, and even gaming phones like the ROG Phone 3, they're pushing 144 hertz.
Okay, so Alex says, Alex thinks that high refresh rate is a big deal. I don't. Maybe, you guys can put up in the comment section below whether you agree with Alex or myself. But I think both of us agree that the this Note 20 Ultra display is a significant improvement over the Note 10 Plus. How much? Okay, how do they compare?
Well, first is the refresh rate, and secondly is that even we compare to the S20 Ultra, Samsung has actually introduced something like a variable refresh rate, which is quite smart. So it doesn't mean that it's 120 hertz, doesn't mean they can run it all the time. So you can actually adjust the refresh rate depending on what you use. So for example, if you're viewing a static page, it can go down to 10 hertz. So that actually saves more power, because just for reference, most conventional displays pushes a refresh rate of 60 hertz. So that helps in terms of battery life. And of course, the screen is massive. So on the S20 Ultra, you're getting a 6.9 inch screen, similar size as the S20 Ultra. And if you compare that with the Note 10 Plus, the Note 10 Plus is also quite big, but it's slightly smaller at 6.8 inch. And on top of that, the Note 20 Ultra also gets Gorilla Glass 7, or better known as Victus, so that adds more durability. But take note that this is only for the front screen, not for the back.
Not for the back panel. There's
yes.
no back screen.
No back screen.
Again, we've been contemplating about this a lot, and we've been thinking, what are significant things that make the Note 20 Ultra a worthwhile upgrade if you have the Note 10? If you look at the componentry separately, maybe the display is something that I can say is a worthwhile upgrade. But the problem is if you look at the price. So you can have the Note 10 Plus right now. It's not discontinued, right?
I think you still can buy it from retail shops and all that.
You can buy
back
back stocks of the Note 10 Plus, or even the S20 Ultra for significantly less than the Note 20 Ultra, and it just doesn't justify the price for me. So I think the pattern here. So we still have to go down through the specs. We have camera to cover after this, and a few other small things. It feels to me that it's not a significant, unless you're using like a Note 9 or
then you can feel the difference.
But if you're using a Note 9 or a Note 8, you might want to just go up to a Note 10 or an S20 Ultra if the S Pen is not a huge deal for you.
But then again, if you're getting an older device, that also means that you have limited support in terms of software. So if you're going to invest that amount of money, must you go for the latest. And Samsung says that they're going to give 3 generations of update
for this range, the Note 20 and
for the new Note S and I think selected A series devices.
So 3 generations would mean maybe
Android
5,
11, 12, 13,
maybe 6 years of use. I don't know.
No, I think 3 years probably max.
So every year there's an upgrade. So maybe 4 years maximum, or 5 years of use when it comes to a phone. So Alex, you're right. If you buy an older device like a Note 10, you lose like 1 year. But I think the Note 10 is part of the 3 generation support.
Yeah, it is. But when it first came out, it was like Android 9, if I'm not mistaken. So that means you have like 1 generation short.
But they say 3 generations. Did they say 3 generations from what
they didn't say
version? So it could be 3 generations from Android 10.
Not too sure. They weren't that specific.
They didn't specify.
But it's not. Just here's the thing. It said generation. It doesn't necessarily mean years. It doesn't necessarily mean version. So it's still quite vague.
So Samsung has committed that they will provide 3 generations of support for software, and that's good. So back to the question: if you're in the market to buy a phone, if you're already on a Note 10, Note 10 Plus, I don't see why you should spend this amount of money on a Note 20. You might want to wait. If you're on older phones, you can consider this, or you can consider the S20 Ultra if you need to buy the flagship. We haven't even gone down the Note 20 yet, which has its pros and cons. Okay, now come back to the Note 20 Ultra. I want to talk about the camera. So there are 3 cameras at the back, right? Or 4? 3?
3 cameras.
Okay, so can you talk me through?
So you have a 108 megapixel main camera, which is similar to the one you get on the S20 Ultra, high resolution. And you also get a 48 megapixel periscope telephoto camera that can do up to 50 times space zoom. So this is similar to the S20 Ultra, but not quite, because the zoom range is a bit shorter. And you also get a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. So if you compare that with the Note 10 Plus, it is a significant upgrade, because the previous one was kind of meh for 2020 standard. You still get like a standard 2x optical zoom camera.
Yep. The telephoto wasn't that great.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. So it's like feels like it's stuck in 2018, whereas most of the phones are pushing at least 4x or 5x optical zoom. So this is a massive upgrade. So also improving over the S20 Ultra is that they added a laser autofocus module. Because on S20 Ultra, there's a lot of complaints that it wasn't focusing fast enough, it's a bit sluggish, so that's addressed on the Note 20.
Okay, with regards to the laser autofocus, right? I think it was Rory that told me that that's not as good as
Dual pixel
the
autofocus.
dual pixel autofocus that's available on the S20.
On the Note 20, the non-Ultra version.
Yeah. So the S20 uses a
Or the standard version, so dual pixel as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a bit weird, right? I mean, why are they not putting the best in a flagship smartphone? It feels like they are compromising. The problem with the laser autofocus is that it has problem with range.
Yeah, there's a limited distance for it to work.
I think if you come up to 5-6 meters of the things that you're trying to focus, it's going to have a problem. But when we take pictures with our phones, it's usually close up or medium range. So I guess if people are complaining about the laser autofocus, you might be nitpicking. If you're just a general person, if you're a general person taking pictures of food, your pet, your children, and yourself, maybe the laser autofocus is not really an issue. And I do agree with Alex, the camera is a significant upgrade over the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus, but that's not to say that the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus cameras are not that great. They are okay, to be honest, despite only having 2x zoom. If you ask me, this 50 times and 100 times space zoom thing is a bit of a gimmick, because if you do actually zoom on the Note 20 or Note 20 Ultra or the S20 Ultra that has the same telescopic camera, the longer you zoom, the more degraded the picture quality is. So I don't think in all practical sense people will be doing this a lot, and it still feels like a gimmick to me.
But at least it has an advantage in terms of the native optical zoom, because natively I think it's about 5x optical zoom, which is still pretty good if you don't want to go all the way out.
Yeah, but I've said this once, and I'm saying this again. I said it a lot of times. If I had to choose between an ultra wide and a telephoto, it would always be the ultra wide. In an everyday scenario, it's more useful to take picture of things. If you go, like for me, like I go to the grocery store and I want to buy stuff, and I want to tell my wife, okay, which one should I get? It's just easier for me to like have an ultra wide to show her this is the rack. You just choose which one you want. I only zoom in 2 times to like position my shot. So let's say if I want to take a nice close up of a coin or of a key or something really small, and I want to have a clean shot and not have my shadow or my reflection on it, it's only then I use my zoom. So I don't really miss it. I mean, do you use zoom a lot?
Yeah, if you cover a lot of events, you're going to use it a lot, man. Because especially if you don't have like a optimum distance from the stage, well, you can really zoom in and get like a nice shot of the stage. And all that.
But even then, you go probably max 20 times.
I won't actually go that far. I'll probably go like 3 to 5 times, which is good, because right now you can go up to like 5 times optical zoom, which is actually better than pre-4. Because sometimes 2 times optical zoom, you feel like it's not enough. You wish that you have that extra edge to it. So I think 5 optical zoom is much better, and it's a massive upgrade compared to 2 times optical zoom. Oh, one minor correction. Just now I said it's 48 megapixel for telephoto. That's actually for the S20 Ultra. So for the Note 20 Ultra, it's 12 times.
So it's 108 for the wide angle,
Yep.
12 megapixel for the telephoto, and 12 megapixel for the ultra,
Ultra
wide.
wide. Yep.
Nothing groundbreaking. All this technology is basically been used before.
But it loses one thing though. The Note 20 loses the TOF camera, which was introduced on the Note 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but again, so the laser autofocus replaces time of flight.
Yep.
The TOF camera, I don't know, is it?
I feel that TOF is actually much better because
Really?
it's a proper depth sensor. Because even the new iPhones is said they're going to have it. Even the latest iPad Pro also has like a sort of like a LiDAR sensor, because that's actually better in terms of AR applications, because you can actually measure that better than laser autofocus.
It's more accurate. So you know how like nowadays most of the cameras have this fake bokeh, fake blurred effect going on in the background, but when you try and take a picture, the separation, the separation between your face and the background is not as smooth, so you can see jagged lines, or you can see the separation.
Yep.
You can see where your face and the background actually
separates.
separated. That's because the current technology and the software is not able to have that degree of detail because of the accuracy. Granted, some time of flight equipped cameras also are not able to kind of
Detect everything
detect the
fully.
face properly.
Yeah, and relies on AI to figure it out.
Yeah, the technology is not perfect, but it allows you to have that degree of control if the software is optimized properly. So that's why I say the Note 20 Ultra versus the S20 is kind of like a mixed bag.
It's more like
because-
fixing the small errors, like
Yeah.
the bandit solution.
Yeah, and we discussed about it. They could easily just bring the S20's camera module and put it in the Note 20 Ultra. I mean S20 Ultra, and put it in the Note 20 Ultra, but they didn't. They kept the
Main camera
main camera,
Yep.
but the telephoto and ultra wide is different.
is different because they want to solve the issues they had in the
Yeah,
S20
so
Ultra.
there was like a problem with the focusing.
Yep.
Right. So when you start using the zoom,
Zoom especially, yeah.
the focusing on the S20 Ultra got a bit wonky. So they are saying they're fixing that, but in doing so, they are kind of like admitting that their hardware, the camera hardware with the S20 Ultra, is kind of not perfect. Okay, back to the thing. Camera, yes, it's a worthy upgrade.
8K video, you can shoot high resolution videos as well,
Yep.
which you don't get on the previous Note. And even though you don't plan to shoot 8K videos, the beauty of it is that you can shoot your footage first and then you can crop it and have a high resolution still image.
Yes, that's a good point. And at the same time, the 8K capabilities on the S20 Ultra and the Note 20 Ultra, if it's the same, is rather good, to be honest. And it's amazing that you have something in your pocket that can shoot videos in 8K. And again, I'm saying that this is really good quality 8K. So that's something that's quite impressive if you're really into videos and stuff. But the thing is, again, a lot of these people that are buying these flagship devices, I don't know how far they go
But you can say that.
to using the capabilities of the device.
But you can say that to almost everyone, right, who buy iPhones as well, because like, oh, I just want the best phone, but you won't get to use 100% of it.
Yeah. Okay, in terms of camera, we'll talk about the front camera as well. Is there a big difference from the Note
Nope.
10 and Plus and the Note 20 Ultra?
Unfortunately, it's still the same 10 megapixel cameras on the punch hole. The only difference though is that the hole on the display for the Note 20 Ultra is smaller, so you get more screen if you are very particular about the size.
Okay.
But you don't get the same 40 megapixel camera that you get on the S20 Ultra. On the S20 Ultra, you get a 40 megapixel camera on the front.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
the
that's
S20
crazy.
Ultra had a whopping, or has a
Yeah.
whopping 48 megapixel camera for selfies.
Yes.
Again, the question is, why didn't they just carry that thing forward? It feels like to maximize profit, Samsung is kind of like cutting and pasting a few things and cutting some corners to make sure that they are able to make the most margin from this. I feel kind of like not good, you know, if I'm going to put in 5,200 ringgit on a phone and I know that I'm not getting the best of everything.
Yeah, and the name is Ultra. Right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the ultimate device, right? But it doesn't feel like they're giving everything they have.
And I know this because the S20 has the ultimate of everything. The
Yep.
S20 Ultra has the ultimate of everything that
Yep.
Samsung could ever give. So, all right. Anything else? Anything else we want to cover with the Note 20 Ultra? Okay, the things we like is Samsung has retained the IP68 rating. Thank you very much for
Yep.
doing that. Stereo speakers, awesome.
Yep.
Um,
DeX is improved slightly. Now
DeX
there's
is
wireless.
now wireless. Wi-Fi 6 support.
That's a given. And then there's also 5G for the Ultra right now, which you don't get in the previous
Huge
version.
deal for me.
But the charging technology, okay, here's the thing, it's a downgrade.
That's another thing I'm pissed off about.
Why they downgrading?
The S20 Ultra had a fairly good, not fairly good, like it's considered like one of the best, like 45 watt fast charging support. Again, why can't they just bring that over? I'm mind blown.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the question, comparing it with the Note 10 Plus.
Yep.
What does it have? 25 watt?
The Note 10 Plus is 45 watt. The S20 Ultra, sorry, Note
45 watt.
20 Ultra is 25 watt.
Yeah, so
And then no change for the wireless technology. It still supports 15 watt wireless charging, which is
Yeah.
quite slow compared to the other competitors. And speaking of charging, the battery, well, is slightly bigger. So the Note 10 Plus came with a 4,300 mAh battery, and the new Note 20 Ultra comes with a 4,500 mAh battery. Yeah, it's big, but not as huge as the S20 Ultra, which came with a 5,000.
5,000 milliamp hour, right?
Yep.
So strictly generation to generation, the Note 20 Ultra has a marginally bigger battery than the Note 10 Plus.
Yep.
But it pales in comparison to the S20 Ultra. And your theory is that they need to make room for the
S Pen.
S Pen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just not happy that Samsung didn't include a 45 watt fast charging capability in the Ultra version of the Note 20. I mean, like you said, it's the Ultra version. It
Yep.
should have the best of everything.
Yep.
And it doesn't. Maybe it's because they want to save battery life. There was a report that if you fast charge your battery, it could deteriorate faster.
Yeah, but you know the technology has grown so well right now that there's a lot of measures in place to ensure that it doesn't damage the battery. And the thing is, you don't need to provide 45 watt battery out of box. Like last time they provide 25 watt, but you do have the option to charge faster if you buy a separate charger. So I don't see that as an issue.
What else is an upgrade from? Not really much.
If I need to sum it up, right?
Okay, the S Pen is an upgrade.
It's
Pressure levels, lah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay, the S Pen, the major difference on paper is that you have a faster response time, 9 milliseconds, and that's due to the high responsive display. So that's one other element. But to me, right, the S Pen has always been responsive to me. So
Yeah.
I can't feel a difference. I think Rory tried the device as well. He can't feel any difference versus the old one.
Yep.
So 9 to 26 milliseconds. It sounds big, but in reality,
It's milliseconds though.
yeah, it's milliseconds. I don't feel any difference. And here's the thing: when they show it during the presentation, right, it's not just the screen responsiveness. There's some AI trick to it. So if you draw a line, it can predict what's your next move. So that creates that faster response. But I still can't feel it.
So it's kind of fake lah. Like before you finish drawing, the thing draw for you already.
Imagine,
What?
imagine you do this. Like, follow this. Yeah.
Not significant enough for me. All right, I think we've covered pretty much everything. Note 20 Ultra versus its predecessor, the Note 10 Plus. Should you upgrade or not?
Wait for the next one. I'll say wait for the next
Yeah,
one.
unless you're, unless you have to have something latest like every year, sure, go for it. It's your money. By all means. I have a Note 10 Plus and I don't feel like I'm upgrading. I don't feel like it's significant enough. I might if the price is lower though. If it's maybe 4 or 5,
Yep.
I might. But 5.1, no man. No matter what, right? So even you say it's 5G or whatever, nope, not getting it. So Note 20 Ultra versus Note 10 Plus, should you upgrade? Answer is, Alex and me, no. Okay, now let's move on to the second version of the Note 20, the Note 20. There's two versions, there's LTE and 5G.
Yep.
Okay.
And this way I'm going to get really pissed. Because for the first time in a Note series since the Galaxy Note 5, they put a plastic back on the device. And that frustrates me because, all the while, right, Samsung always released one Note model. And things has changed with the Note 10. So for the first time Note 10, you have two Notes, the smaller one and bigger one. So regardless of which one you pick, it should feel the same. You have the same premium build, same specs, and the only difference is the screen size and the battery.
Yep.
Okay, for the Note 10, right, the screen is smaller, 6.3 inch. It pushes a lower Full HD resolution, but it's pretty good because the screen is so small, you don't really feel that, you're getting less pixels.
It's not so small, like, come on man, it's 6.7 inch.
6.3, Note 10.
Note 10, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, I thought you were talking about Note 20. Okay.
Yeah, so
But it's still 6 inch. It's still quite besar lah to be. Okay, this is
you
the,
compare
this
that
is the Note 10.
side by side, you can
comparing
really
with
feel
what? Okay,
is
okay.
it like 6.3 versus a 6.8 is quite a big difference.
Okay.
But on the Note 20, you get a larger screen, 6.7 inch. Yeah, people appreciate a larger screen, but it still pushes Full HD resolution. It's a flat screen, which I'm okay and fine. But the thing is, it still pushes 60 Hz. Somehow, you look at these specs, right? It's a huge downgrade from the Note 20 Ultra. And if I look at it, right, it looks as if like this should be called the Note 20 Lite because it's so downgraded. And the thing that pisses me off is the back that's made out of plastic.
I agree with you. Okay, so previously, I think the Note 10 and you mentioned the Note 10, Note 10 Plus, the display was the same, right? It's just either you get a big one or a small one.
Yeah.
This is like, okay, if you're getting a cheaper Note 20 and you're gonna pay 4,000 or 3,000 ringgit, you know what? We're gonna make it feel as cheap as possible for you.
Let me check out the Galaxy A bin. Let me see if any spare displays.
Let's see what we can pull out. You wanna make it cheap? Fine, we'll give you plastic. You wanna make it cheap? Fine, we'll give you a flat display.
Yeah. Okay, to clarify, I know some of you appreciate a flat display. Yeah, I'm okay with that. But the thing is, does it have to be 60 Hz display? I think this is the only new flagship launched in the second half of this year that's priced more than 3,000 ringgit, still pushes a 60 Hz screen. Like even a mid-range phone from like Realme and I think Xiaomi as well in China, you can get a 90 Hz display.
But is it specs for specs though? I mean, I don't feel like I need a faster display. I don't know. I mean, I don't lose out on it. But I'm annoyed that it's a flat display. I'm annoyed that it's a full HD. I guess I'm not so annoyed lah.
For me, I don't mind all these small sacrifices, which is not so significant for most people. But if it's going to be more than 3,000 ringgit, imagine the LTE version is 3,899 ringgit, and the 5G version is like 4,299. That's insane.
What can you get for that price?
You can get a Note 10 Plus, which has a better display, Quad HD display, better build, not plastic. Come on, plastic phone for more than 3,000 bucks, like you mentioned in previous episode. Even the iPhone SE,
yes,
it's made of glass.
That's a good point. That's what I wanted to bring up. Some things Apple do, I agree. Okay, yes, their phones are overpriced and things like that. But they've been like super smart in ensuring certain things are not compromised. And in this case, build quality, finish, and feel is something I feel that Apple will never compromise on. That's why the Macs, that's why the Apple Watches and the iPhones will always feel special in your hand. And it all comes down to little things like glass and stainless steel and aluminium. It makes you feel good when you're using the device. So you can argue, doesn't matter man, I'm just gonna put a case on it. Yes, you're right and I do that too. But I don't know about you guys, I open my phone and take out the case and clean it once in a while, and I just love it more when it feels premium.
Yep.
And no matter what year you're in, whether you're 2020 or 2050, glass is glass.
Yeah.
Plastic is plastic, all right? Glass will never replace plastic, just like how you drink from a glass Coke bottle and a plastic Coke bottle. It is a significant difference. And I'm right, Alex. And you're right, Alex. I'm not sure. I wanted to say, Alex, you're right. I'm not sure why Samsung would compromise on things that you can feel and see. I mean, if they put a lesser processor, I might be okay because I can't see it.
What? Okay, here's the thing. And not just that, not just
Wait,
display.
before we go from that, I just want to go line by line
Yep.
again. So processor is the same, right?
It's the same, yeah.
990,
Yep.
again, it's not a Snapdragon, so that's our problem. Sorry, that's Malaysia's market problem. RAM is the same.
Similar, yep.
Storage is the same.
Storage is slightly bigger.
128.
So the previous one was, same as well. The previous is 256 as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now it's 256 as well?
Yeah, 256. So no
Right.
difference in terms of storage. Okay, I want to recap back on the display. So okay, fine, you want to go for Full HD, but the problem with that is that since it's a bigger screen, the pixel density is much lower now, 393 ppi, and on top of that, the
393 versus?
previous one is 400. So another thing is that
Okay, 7 ppi doesn't make a difference, dude. Not much different lah.
for Full HD, I think that it is. But for me, it's
for the sake of argument, it is a downgrade.
Yeah.
No matter how marginal, it is a downgrade.
okay. Look at this.
Was the Note 10 curved screen?
Yes, the Note 10 was curved screen. This one's flat screen.
Alright.
I have no issues with flat and curved.
Okay.
I know some people liked it. But here's another thing, the protection layer, the glass on top of it, right? The Note 10 was using Gorilla Glass 6 and the new one's using Gorilla Glass 5. Why?
Okay, that is significant.
Yeah.
That is. I see it now.
It's like they're trying to punish you.
Samsung is cutting corners.
Yeah, it's
for
like,
sure.
Yeah, you want chip, I'm going to punish you. Let me just take more things out.
So they're just introducing all these overlaps so that they can insert similar devices but call it different names. So I can see now, if this is not the light version, because it should be, the light version might be a rehash of maybe a Note 10, and then they're just going to call it it might be a rehash of a Note 10 Plus, and they're just going to call it a Note 20 Lite.
I don't think it's rehash. I mean, because it's a flat screen, it's like an all new model. And another thing is that, okay, they didn't include a micro SD card slot for this one. So you get a cheaper
It's
model.
deliberate.
And the thing is, they did the same thing on the Note 10. But based on customer feedback, I'm pretty sure they would listen to them and add it in because that's what they did with the Note 5.
Yep.
When they introduced the Note 5, it was the first Note without a micro SD card slot. A lot of people were pissed about it. The battery was small, and they listened to that. So after that, they came with the Note 7, which gives you everything.
Yep.
Micro SD slot, yeah, we got it. Bigger battery, we give you a bigger
Note
battery.
7,
Yeah,
The one that
yeah,
had
kaboom.
that problem.
Yeah, yeah. But they did listen in terms
Yeah,
of specs.
yep.
They give you a micro SD card slot, it came back. Yeah.
So, okay, Samsung can do it. It's just whether they want it or not. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
So the question is now, if you have a Note 10, should you upgrade? Okay, we haven't covered the camera, so let's cover the camera
Okay, cameras, I would say, yeah, it's a huge upgrade.
from the Note 10.
Yep, correct.
So,
The main camera is still similar. It's a 12 megapixel. Both is dual pixel autofocus. That's fast. The telephoto is a huge upgrade. So previously you have 2 times zoom. Now you have up to 30 times zoom. But in terms of hybrid optical, it's 3 times hybrid optical. So improvement in terms of zoom, yeah, you get it. Ultra wide angle in terms of numbers is slightly lower. The previous one is 16 megapixel, the new one is 12 megapixel, but the new one has like a larger sensor. It's a 1/2.55 inch, so ultra wide is better on the Note 20. And in terms of cameras, front cameras same, 10 megapixel for both front cameras.
yeah, okay, specs wise, yes, hardware wise, it's an upgrade from the Note 10. But like I said, the Note 10, the Note 10 Plus, the cameras are already kind of really quite good already. So I would, if you want to future-proof your phone, because maybe when the software comes in and the camera gets better and better, so much so that the Note 10 cannot catch up because it's a matter of software optimizing a very good hardware already, then yeah, sure, maybe the Note is something you want to the Note 20 is something you want to consider.
Yep.
But if you are already using the Note 10 and you want to upgrade and you don't really use the S Pen, S20 Ultra, same price, almost the same price, 4,000 segment, right?
You can get it for 4,005.
So the Ultra is already 5G,
Yep.
4.5, you get it.
Yep.
And arguably it could be better than the the Note 20 Ultra. Yeah. I don't know, man. We've been like going through all the specs and I'm trying to justify this.
Okay, there's one thing that's better on the Note 20 versus Note 10. which is the battery, because the Note 10's battery is quite small, it's 3,500 mAh, and the Note 20 is 4,300. So that's the big difference. But then again, the screen size also makes a difference because the smaller Note 10 has like a 6.3 inch, so that could be a bit frugal.
Maybe, I
Yeah.
don't know. So, but it's like nitpicking. You know, previously when a lot of people ask me, hey, you know, I want to get a phone, what should I get? What is the best phone I could get right now for this amount of money? If it was 12 months ago when the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus was launched, I would like just tell them, dude, just go and get the Note. You know, you cannot lose. It's good price, good feature, good everything. You cannot lose. To a certain degree, the S20 and S20 Ultra, I did say the same thing, but you lose out on the S Pen. Some people like it, some people don't. But getting a Note 10 Plus gave you that option, no matter what. Now, 1 year after that, COVID-19 and everything, we come to the launch of the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. I cannot tell somebody to go out and get a Note. There's so many other phones within the same price range that delivers so much more. The only reason why you should get a Note is because you need a stylus.
Yep.
But then again, you might just be better off getting an iPad if you
iPad?
really want to draw.
Oh yeah,
You know?
that for drawing, yes.
Yeah.
But for a phone, well, one thing is that I guess Samsung is in a very interesting spot because no one else offers an S Pen in a phone form factor.
A stylus and a silo.
Yeah, so I guess they have the advantage. So maybe that's the reason why
Yeah,
they're resting their laurels.
I do agree. The S Pen is a huge thing, but okay, the factors that's conspiring against the Note 20. The S20 range is super good already. The Note 10 and Note 10 Plus is also available in the market now if you need a stylus.
Yep.
Then the other thing is the market that these two phones are in right now. 5,001 all the way down, 5,002 all the way down to 38, right?
Yep,
3899,
399,
39. Within that range, you are competing against iPhones, you are competing against yourself, you are competing against some offshoot brands that are also really super capable.
Yep.
So you're not unique there unless you want to say, like I always advocate, I like Samsung because of the ecosystem, the S Pen one,
Yep.
Samsung Pay, those things are important to me. But if I need Samsung Pay, I can get a cheaper light version or whatever. So I don't know.
So Note 20 from the Note 10, is it worth the upgrade? Would you upgrade that?
No, definitely not. Like you say, I'd probably get an S20 Ultra if I don't need the S Pen.
Yeah, for me, right, for the price of Note 20, if you need an S Pen, you might as well go for the Note 10 Plus. You get better display, a bigger battery, and it's going for like 3,500 right now, 3,599.
That's good.
Yeah, for 256
That's good price, man.
Yeah, 256 gig of storage, and you still get a micro SD card expansion. So that's much better, and you have a better build compared to the Note 20. Of course, you like we mentioned just now, you lose up maybe 1 year of software support. But as a phone overall, you get better value from the Note 10 Plus.
And you get faster charging too, right?
yes, 45 watts
watts.
support. Yeah, but of course, sold separately.
Okay, I think we've covered everything. The answer to the question is should you upgrade to the Note 20? As much as we want to say yes and or justify that it's a complicated and depends on usage or whatever, actually hands down, not really.
For me, Note 20 Ultra, if you really want the ultimate Note, well, that's the only option you have right now. Considering the Note 20, skip it. If you want a better alternative, just go for the Note 10 Plus, which is much more affordable and packs better value.
All right, there you have it, guys. Save some money and don't bother with the Note 20 right now and get the Note 10, Note 10 Plus, or the S20 Ultra. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching the show. I hope it's been a beneficial and informative discussion. I read your comments and I read your comments and feedback. So please do provide them so that we can improve the show better and better. Suggest some topics to us. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know if you want us to bring a guest to the show to talk about things, or if you have a question that none of customer service people can answer. We can help you. We can reach out and do some research and provide the answer for you. Just let us know. We're more than happy to help out. And thanks for watching. I just reminded to all of our viewers, we're also available on podcasts. If you want to look for us, we're available on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Just search for Let's Talk About Sir Jin Chow, and we're there. Do subscribe to our podcast. If you like the show, give us a 5-star rating, because that really helps us a lot in getting the show to more and more people. Share it to your friends, family, and enemies. You know, they might find it useful too. And if you're watching this show on YouTube, give us a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Comments and suggestions are really helpful. And thank you for watching. So this is Amin.
And this is Alex.
And catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.